to Unplugged, the podcast where we keep it real about relationships, friendships, and navigating life's hustle. Today we're diving deep into the game of balancing work, entrepreneurship, and keeping those tight connections alive. It's all about being true to yourself. And you know you gotta address the elephant in the room, social media. From double taps to DM slides, we'll break down how it's changing the game of relationships. Join me Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on Fire 716 Radio.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Unplugged. So today I'm here with Imam Wajed, sorry, and we'll just be discussing a lot of different things. So first I wanted to say congratulations to you because you just graduated from college, and I just want to say I wish you all the success in your future endeavors in life. And yeah, so let's get into it. First question I wanted to ask you was, so you graduated. What was your degree in?
My degree was in marketing, and then I minored in entrepreneurship and web design.
Web design, okay. And why did you choose that major and that minor?
All right, so for marketing and entrepreneurship it was like a passion I always had. Like when I was 13, my dad told me I could cut hair. So since then, I've been cutting hair 8-9 years now. So I went into marketing to be able to market myself as a business, and entrepreneurship goes hand in hand with that. So I wanted to learn how to market myself, and then through college, I started changing my perspectives, and I started growing a lot, talking to more people, reading books, and my perspective on marketing changed. So I understood that I need to market myself, but if I'm able to market myself, I'm able to represent other companies, organizations, other people, and represent them and market them as I market myself. So it's all about first impressions. So I feel as if marketing is that first impression. And, going through all the books and all the classes, like, it's cool to, understand the terms and what you need to do with marketing, but I feel as if marketing has to do with inner confidence and inner knowing and interest in people and interest in things beyond yourself. So, yeah.
So what point made you change your perspective on marketing? Like, what was it that was like, okay?
So shout out to Mr. Joy, my professor. He was my professor from freshman to senior. Like 2 classes every year with him. He's a dope dude. He's always funny, making jokes. And I would say in that last class, that Marketing 420, I did a presentation about marketing. So like the whole class was basically, high level marketing. And we talked about the terms, we talked about certain projects, and we looked at plans and certain things and how to market those plans and promote those plans. So my presentation was on one of the chapters, and I had to basically go from scratch. Like, he didn't tell me nothing to do, and I just went from scratch. And then the first thing I came out with was I did a test with everyone in the room, like to just mainly to calm myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I told everyone to take a deep breath, and then everyone took a deep breath. I did another time. Then I asked everyone, like, in the room, like, who felt uncomfortable. And then, a few people raised their hand, a few people didn't. And I was like, I understand that this may be uncomfortable to just be and take a deep breath with me, because it's something that's not normal and people don't do it. But you have to embrace those things that are uncomfortable. And those things that are uncomfortable are things you've never been or never done. So that comes in new opportunities, right? So through that, I looked at marketing like, wow, like, there's ways to make sales and, make a business strategy and have the best product, but you can have all of that. If you don't have marketing, you don't have a business at all. Right? If you're not able to talk to people and be uncomfortable in certain situations and have a conversation about yourself or your product and be like, yo, end of this conversation, I want to make a sale. Like, you have to have that in your mind. And having that in your mind is like you feel like you're taking advantage of this person, but you're not, because you understand that your product, your business, your strategy is perfect for them, right? You know that because it's yours, but you have to portray that to them because they don't know you, they don't know your business, they don't know nothing. So you have to be able to market yourself, and then once you market yourself to that person, you're able to market the business, and then it just keeps going from there.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. So I actually minored in marketing, and like I feel the same way that you did. Like, I had the same professor from, it wasn't my freshman, it was my sophomore year up until like my senior year. And it was really so much that goes into marketing just outside the things that we see in the stores. It's like so much behind the scenes stuff. I don't think people actually realize it. And it's a lot of like psychology and like science facts behind it. And when you actually study it, it's like, wow, like honestly, I wish I would have majored in marketing. I love marketing. It's dope. So my next question to you would be, how has your degree helped you navigate your life post-grad?
So I graduated about, August, right? So yeah, about 3 months ago. Literally almost to this day. So for the last 3 months, I've been in an internship at Crowley Webb, which is a full service advertising agency. They're very popular. Do a lot of stuff with M&T Bank, Highmark, Evergreen. Very prestigious in Buffalo. So as of right now, that's as far as I've got to, with my degree. But being in that space and seeing what marketing can do for the world and for a business, it was mind blowing. Like the project I was doing with experts in their field, it was mind blowing. Like seeing how people work, and it changed perspective on certain things I've seen as well. Like, but just being able to conduct projects and do certain things with the experts of marketing and having them say, "Oh wow, good job," and it's like, okay, I'm in the right spot. I'm in the right spot. I highlighted in the blog article I just posted with Crowley Webb, a great experience at the press conference I went to. So public relations, as you say.
Yeah.
So I learned how to write press releases, and I looked at press releases, like official press releases, and I was able to write a few of them. And being in that space of people who want to look at a goal that's greater than themselves, as I keep saying, it was amazing. Like people getting on the podium and just saying, "Oh, here I am. This is my background. This is what I want to do with this almost like this vision. This is what I want to do with this vision. This is where I want to stretch this vision." And it was amazing. And the people I talked to in the room was multi-millionaire, you know what I'm saying? Like CEOs, executives, just having normal conversations about just, "Oh yeah, I did this, I did that. Oh, what you do? Okay, I just feel, regular conversation. Like you wouldn't even expect that. I mean, you would, because they're normal people, but like it's like, I don't know, being in the room and you talking to Bill Gates. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you feel as if you wouldn't know how to act, but you will, because it's a normal person, a normal conversation. And when the energy flowing and you got that marketing soul within you and you got that good energy, that good spirit, the conversation just flows. And it's just amazing to be in a room with those people who understand and have a higher consciousness and awareness that the whole goal of this, whatever we're doing here on earth, is just to support people, to love people. And that's what they do with their foundations, organizations, and their businesses. So it was amazing.
So what was your biggest takeaway from Crowley Webb?
Biggest takeaway, that life's simple. Like as I said, like if you go, people go through life trying to figure it out, but there's nothing to figure out. Like there's literally nothing to figure out. Like there's certain things that people are doing right now that other people have never ventured to, and now that's a new innovation. And people going there like crypto or AI now. People making a whole businesses strictly off those things, and just like you would have done that 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like so being able to just go with the flow and be present and just in the book by Deepak Chopra, the 7 Laws of Spiritual Success, one of the laws is the law of least effort. So when you just surrender to being and you just surrender to the flow of the universe, the flow of society, the flow of whatever, just surrender. Don't try to control certain things, and everything's going to just flow. You're just going to be.
Are you very spiritual?
I would say so. I meditate a lot, thanks to my parents. About 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night. But I wouldn't say I'm connected to a certain religion or a certain like vision, but I'm certainly connected to myself. So that's my spiritual journey, like my inner work. Like I said, marketing. Like from that last semester, that last year of college, like being in that class and the other classes I've been in, knowing myself more and the mannerisms I do and the awareness I have I was able to change certain things and change my perceptions and my outlooks, which able to give me the confidence and to talk to people. I was always quiet, so like I never really talked to people because I never thought there was a purpose of having a conversation, honestly.
Really?
But reading books and being able to just sit down and self-reflect and evaluate my day or sit down without even thinking, just being there, and then seeing the certain things that play after that. I was like, wow, like the fact that I'm not in control, I'm in control.
That's a great way to look at things. Yeah. So from changing your perspective, is this how you like landed your internship at Carly Webb?
I would say so for sure. Like right after my semester was about to end, I got the interview at Crowley, and that's when I had these perspectives, these visions, and I went in just with the goal of just learning the three people that was interviewing me. Like it wasn't even just I gotta get this job, you know, I gotta get paid, da da da. I was in there just because to be in the space and tour the building, and see what Carly Webb was. Because in college, everyone talked about Carly Webb because even in my web design class, my marketing classes,
I've heard a lot about it.
The Carly Webb, the Martin Group. Mm-hmm. So just being there and being able to even say like, oh yeah, they called me in for an interview was an accomplishment for me. So I wasn't worried about what happened after that. I was just in the moment. And the three people that was interviewing me, like I asked questions because I was interested in them. As I say, like, I wasn't interested in just the role I had to play or, you know, what was the pay like or certain things of that. I was actually interested in how they got there and how they see their expertise changing certain things in the marketing business. And, you know, I was asking things like, what is your why? And why do you wake up in the morning and come to this job? Like, why don't you go somewhere else? And I feel like people don't ask those questions, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing is just asking the question that nobody asked and getting the answers that I never thought I would receive, you know?
That is very important, and just, you know, learning to set yourself apart from, like, I know you're saying like you kind of just let things flow, but when you set yourself apart from other people who may be looking for that job, it's definitely going to be like, okay, like this kid is the one, like he knows what he's doing. So that's good. So before Carly Webb, you interned at Buffalo. How do you say
Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus.
Okay, so did you have this mindset while you were there?
I would say so. It was growing through there. Like January, I would say this year is when I really started investing in myself and my personal value and reading a lot of books and doing my inner shadow work. And meeting Jawaria, who was actually my professor, I emailed her in December. It was like, hey, can I, you know, internship here? Because it was running late. Like I had to get an internship before a certain date. I was like, you know, I'm going to reach out to her because she's a good individual. She knows my parents. And it was just like, I feel like this would be a good fit. So the company she had was called E4All. And then E4All translated into IC Success, Innovation Center Success at Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus. So then that December, the end of December, I went into one of the vision board meetings and being with the entrepreneurs and looking at their visions, their goals for 2023, and their previous goals from 2023 that they have accomplished or they didn't accomplish. I learned from that, I would say, and looking at myself as a barber, as an individual who has a business, who is himself. I was looking at that and evaluating myself. And then right then and there, someone from one of the entrepreneurs said that my goal from 2023 was to read a book a month. And I was like, wow, 12 books, okay. Because I knew I wanted to read. I was always someone who was interested in knowledge and certain things like that. But I never took the time to actually sit down and finish a book. Like it would be a book, 2 chapters here and there, next book. I would even sleep when I started reading books because it was working my mind so much. But then I actually sat down from January and it's still going on now to read a book a week. Like,
so you finish a book every week?
A book every week.
Now, do you stick to a specific genre, topic, author, or like how do you go about that?
I would say I just get whatever speaks to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of lists out there for, you know, self-help, self-development, or psychology, physiology, sociology, stuff like that, philosophy. There's a lot of book lists for that. And I mean, I feel as if I got down to the essentials, but I really wanted to explore for myself. And then one of the good books that actually like changed the whole setting for me, as I said, was The Voice of Knowledge by Don Miguel Ruiz. Great book. And then I read The 4 Agreements right after that. But you're supposed to read The 4 Agreements before that, but I read The 4 Agreements after that. and that's a great author. And then Deepak Chopra is another one of my favorite authors. And then I also read this one book by Joseph Nguyen called Don't Believe Everything You Think. And that changed the game, I would say.
And why do you think that is? Because you're your biggest enemy? I said that last week in the podcast, actually.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
You got it. Just learning to unconditionally love yourself translates into the unconditional love for everything around you. Like, there's a lot of conflict in the world, and it stems from people having conflict with themselves. Like, I see a lot of videos. I mean, everybody sees a lot of videos of conflict going on, or people arguing on even podcasts, even. But you could tell, like, the person who's arguing isn't mad at the person across from them. They're mad at themselves, and they attaching themselves to the beliefs that the other person is not, or is contradicting or is opposed to. So it's interesting. It's interesting when you actually look into yourself.
Yeah, so because I've seen this quote or whatever saying, and it was like, you can't always feel bad for the way people treat you because it is a reflection of how they feel about themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that is very true. And then something else that I was going to say was, I think a lot of times why we are our biggest enemies or whatever, like contradicting ourselves, is because a lot of it has to do with what we do in the mornings. We get up, wake up, get on our phones, And I was reading something, I don't remember what it was, but it was basically like, when you get on your phone within like the first 5 minutes that you wake up, that sets your tones for the day, that sets your moods for the day. So it's like, in the space that I'm in now, I try not to get on my phone in the morning. And the last couple of days, honestly, I have failed. But I think I definitely agree with you on that point.
Yeah, that's deep. Deep. I like that you brought that up because I'm writing a book myself. And what I put into that is certain aspects just as that, like going into the science of sleep and what does sleep really mean. And, you look at the alpha waves and certain things like that in REM sleep, and you're not even really there. You're not really even really conscious when you sleep. And then people wake up and don't understand it's a very new day with very new opportunities, but they result back to the same thing they had yesterday. And then that kills the whole rest of their day. Or as you said, they go online and they see something and it's like it shapes the whole day for them. And then they go to sleep again and it happens over and over again.
Right.
And it's just detrimental to their mental. It's detrimental to their mental. I like that you brought that up.
So getting into that, you're writing your own book. How did you get into this process?
How did I get into this process? I would say I've always been a writer. My middle name, Idris, it means the scribe in Arabic, the one who writes, the one who knows. So I've always been a writer. When I was younger, I wrote my own comic book. I wrote my own little book. I was always translating certain things back into English. I've always been a writer, but I never sat down and was able to write out my thoughts for long periods of time to convey a message and make people visualize what I'm saying. And the first thing I wrote down in my introduction was, my whole family is artists and creatives. So I was trying to find my creative way. Like I stopped drawing when I was younger, and I was trying to find my way back to creativity. And I wrote that the pen creating a word for me is like a brushstroke on a canvas of possibility. And once you get that pen going, once you get that type going, like there's no limitation. Like it's nothing. Like all thoughts out there. So when I started reading in January, I started a journal, writing down all the concepts that I wanted to keep in my mind, so to speak. I wasn't even thinking about writing a book at that point. It was just in my mind. And then something clicked in I'll say March, April. And I was like, you know what? It's a lot of commonalities in these books. Like, I feel like they writing almost the same thing. Like there's different perspectives they got and different views they coming from, but they writing about the same thing. Like, and you get into religion and stuff like that, and it really got down to the consensus that your thoughts create your reality, and what you think is true as what you see, and it's very metaphysical. It's not like, if you think apple gonna show up in your hand, apple gonna show up in your hand. Like a thought can turn into action, and then the action turn into a habit. That habit can turn into your daily routine, etc. So if you have a thought that you want an apple, it's a complete energy stimulant, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go get an apple. Now you realize the apple in your hand, but you don't realize it because you're not aware that your thought translated into your action, and then that's how it created your whole reality. So I started just writing about that, and I talk about like I want to change the world. Like that's my simple but not so simple goal. Um, and so I'm titled "Take Care of Yourself" and a guide to mental wealth, right? But not in the wealth of money, like but richness and wealthness of who you are, because money's everywhere. You get money anywhere. Like it's always gonna be there. You can always get a job like that, you know. Um, but your personal value is not something that's always gonna be with you. You know, there's certain things that can happen, there's certain experience that can happen in your life, and you lose your personal value like that. You can be depressed, you have anxiety, and you lose your whole personal value. Something can happen, and just like, wow, I don't even want to do this no more. You know, and that comes with losing productivity and creativity. So then I just wrote about the commonalities that came apart in these books, and then I started to get my own views and things that I seen during the day. Originally, the book was called The Meaning, but then I went to an antique shop, and because I was always looking for cheap books, right? I went to the antique shop, and the shop was like getting torn down or whatever, so he was selling everything. Everything was gone. And I walked in. One of my best friends, Hassan. I walked in. I was like, "How you doing?" You know, I'm an outgoing person. I'm very I'm very introspective, and I don't like talking, but I have to, and I'm growing into the person that I can be when I talk and getting certain things out of people. So I walk in, I'm like, "How you doing, man? We saw your page on online. You know, I heard you closed. And sorry about that. Da da da." He's on the phone. He just looks at me and don't say nothing. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, all right. And I keep walking, and I'm looking at all these books. I was like, "So you got any labels for these books? You're not trying to find a certain section or whatever." He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Wow, like this is crazy." Like
he was just being disrespectful.
I mean, you know, it's him though. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you know, he wasn't attacking me or nothing. You know, certain people could feel attacked by those certain actions. But me, I was just like, oh, okay. I mean, I understand the shop closing and certain things. And then I didn't feel the right energy in the room, so we just left. I didn't even want to look anymore. You know, we just left. And then Hassan, he was like, "Man, you should tell him to take care of yourself." Because I was writing that in the book, but I didn't title it that. And I was like, "Wow, take care of yourself, like yourself. You know, like not yourself, but yourself, like who you are. Take care of who you are, regardless of what happens. Take care of your actions, your reactions."
Yeah, inner work is very, very, very important. I don't think people actually realize like how much work you actually have to put into yourself in order for you to succeed in life. I think that's something that people miss out on a lot in life. And something that I always say is the one thing that I want to gain in life is true happiness. Like that's the only thing that I don't care. Like I do care about money, but I want to experience true happiness, be surrounded by love. Like that's what I want in my life. So the inner work is definitely important.
That's amazing. Would you say you're happy right now?
I am. No.
Why
not? No. Just because there are. Right now I'm materialistic, and like I was telling you before, I got into a car accident. I don't have my car right now. I won't have my car for a month. Just that situation alone frustrates me. Like I literally cry about my car like every day just because I do so much, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I need to go here, I need to go here, I need to go here. I have to ride on this person, and it hasn't been a struggle for me at all. Like my mom, she's let me use her car, whatever. Like I have the best mom on earth. I say it all the time. Like I love my mom to death, but it's just the fact that, like I told you, I was restricted in the house. Like I couldn't just get up and go, you know. So, and another thing is like, I don't know, with me like just graduating and stuff, I feel like kind of lost in life right now. And I don't know, because I am doing like what I went to school for. So like I don't have a job, but like I'm doing what I went to school for. But I'm not satisfied with myself. I don't know why. So
but you question certain things.
I question a lot of things. Like every morning I question a lot of things.
But what if I told you this? Like, in order to be found, you need to be lost. If you never question yourself, you're never gonna find yourself.
That is true. That is true.
To go back to what I said, a lot of people go through life trying to figure it out, but don't question it. That there's nothing to figure out, and that's when you lose yourself. And you can get it right back, because then you understand like you could do anything.
Yeah.
Do anything.
Yeah. So what is like what do you do to take care of yourself besides meditation? Like, what is like your day-to-day life?
Day-to-day life. Let's see. So I wake up, I meditate 20 minutes, then I usually take the bus to downtown where I work at because you can't really park there. And I don't want to, I mean, they said they reimburse me, but I don't like people just pay me for no reason. You know, like that's my decision. Like, I could take the bus, I could walk, I could ride a bike, but so I'd rather take the bus and the train. So I take the bus and the train. It take like an hour to get to work. And I settle in the desk. I don't even look at my schedule before I go in. Like,
Really?
I don't even look at the email or nothing. I just like being surprised, I guess. I don't know. I just like go with the flow, look at the calendar, and like, all right, I gotta do this, gotta go here. Because I like experiencing what it is. I don't like looking at it and then thinking what could happen from that interaction or from that meeting. I don't like looking at it that way. I just like going in, not expecting anything, and then getting out of return of what I was supposed to get. And then that usually goes how the day goes. And I leave at 4. I come back on the train. It takes like an hour. Get out at 5. Then I eat. Then I go to the soccer field. Probably run a little bit and then get a little good game in. Pick up. I come back, shower, meditate, read, and then that's my day. But like, I would say how I keep myself happy. I don't know, just looking at the world a certain way and understanding that, like, it's not like it is what it is type thing, but it's like, we here. Now what you gonna do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we here.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So, what I wanted to ask you about was the Buffalo fashion show runway.
Yeah.
How is that process? Well, first, can you tell us a little bit about it? And then secondly, can you tell us, like, how's that going and stuff?
So this is my passion right now. We talking about how I keep myself happy. That's my passion right now. So Buffalo Fashion Runway, Confluence of Arts, is a fashion show that intertwines the art that we have in Buffalo, because art is very prominent scene in Buffalo right now. We have a lot of murals that's getting put up now. New AKG building just got rebuilt. Virtual Penny is very prominent right now. A lot of art museums coming up. The new Children's Museum coming up. So art is very prominent right now, but fashion isn't. But it can be, like with the Bus State Fashion Show, with other fashion shows coming up, like Fake Buffalo, Seneca Fashion Show. It can transition into fashion being a part of the arts. So we want to look at fashion beyond the threads, where we look at fashion as a lifestyle, as art, as certain things to live by, a morality type thing. When you walk out the house, you always get that first impression. And if you don't care about what you put on, that means you don't care about yourself, so to speak. So fashion is certain things beyond the thread. So we want to include the arts. Confluence means merging, so we merge all the arts together with the fashion. We got about 6 designers right now, 7 including the mix. You'll learn about that later.
Okay.
You follow us on social media, Buffalo Fashion Runway. And yeah, so it's coming together. Been reaching out to a lot of sponsors. I've been going to a lot of pop-up shops, meeting the owners of certain brands. We have a mixed social mixer coming up at Birchfield. For everybody to meet everybody, the models, artists, designers, just to establish that relationship, and put out our vision that we want to bring community together and show off the talent we got in Buffalo. Because a lot of people know the talent, but they're not gonna do nothing about it. A lot of people say they want to do certain things, but execution is what matters, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to execute on that factor. So right now, marketing king right now. Social media booming. Out 2 weeks almost. 2-3 weeks. So that's what has been happening with us. We got some big name sponsors. I ain't gonna disclose anything till it come out. But I'm excited. I'm excited for what can happen after it. I'm excited for the years to come with it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you too. Like, do you guys plan to do this like annually? Because I think that's so dope. Like, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we're gonna do it annually. I mean, it may be more frequent than annual.
Oh, okay.
But that's the minimum is annually. That's the minimum. But it could branch out to do certain things, because a lot of people hit us up to model, a lot of people hit us up to design for the show and stuff like that. And like, this is our first year. Like, this is wild to me. Like the amount of DMs I've been getting about it, and You know, I don't like telling people no, but it's like we solidified this like 2 months ago. So it's like, yo, pull up. You can see what you can get out of it. You can see what you can do for it, and see the outcome of the fashion show. But right now, like we focus on this circle, and then we can branch out to the next circle, the next circle, the next circle. But yeah,
that's so dope. Well, that was the 4th episode of J Unplugged, I think. Tune in next week at 6 p.m. Thank you all for watching.
The J Unplugged, the podcast where we keep real about relationships, friendships, and navigating life's hustle. Today we're diving deep into the game of balance in work, entrepreneurship, and keeping those tight connections alive. It's all about being true to yourself. And you know you gotta address the elephant in the room, social media. From double taps to DM slides, we'll break down how it's changing the game of relationships. Join me Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on Fire 716.